guys mentioned like investment has a certain amount of risk, right? So why should some person invest instead of just like saving their money in the bank? You know?
I think if I look at it statistically, okay, what is the bank interest over the last 20 years? The average, you'll be surprised, is less than 1% in a savings account. Now, what is the average of inflation? Now, inflation means this, if you put $1 today and you keep $1 in a tin can, 10 years later, 20 years later, can that $1 buy the same value you can buy today? Your money shrink, downsize. So the average statistics tells me Singapore is about 2.1, 2.2%. Let's round it up to 2.5%. And that's why the government, CPF, are able to hedge against the inflation. Putting your money in the bank, let's say you get 1%. The inflation is 2.5%.
It's not worth it, right?
Yeah, correct. So what is the next logical thing you do? You have acquired this money, you work so hard for it. Now, if it can grow at a decent rate, just now I said 6% or 8%. Let's take 6% for example. Every 12 years, I double your money. And 6% means it's about another 3%, 3.5% above inflation. Will you be happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I say, okay, then your question to me is, where then I do it? Obviously, you need to invest in the market. Let's take an example of the index. The index represents the market, how the market is performing. You take the US index. In the average, if you were to invest it for the last 30 years, the average return is around 9%, round down to 9%, And you take a more global investment, the MSCI index, invest in the whole world, It's still around 8-point-something%. Let's talk about 8%.
That's pretty good.
Now, so if you invest in a market and you can get 8%, and your objective is that this money is not going to be used now, but in the long term, 30 years later when I retire, or 20 years later I retire, do you know, if I take the rule of 72 divided by 8, tell me, what is the number?
9.
9 years. Every 9 years, your money double. How many 9 years do you have? How young are you now?
I'm 18.
18. By 27, double. By, let's say you're 100,000 now. Your dad gave you 100,000.
Yes.
27, it becomes 200. Another 9 years, 36. 400. Another 9 years, 800. And you still have another 9 years because you haven't reached your retirement age. It becomes 1.6 million.
Just retire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can retire early. Would you be happy?
Yes.
That's it.
Okay, that's a very good answer. Okay, so can you guys tell me the difference between like long-term and short-term investing?
Well, for long-term, I would say that if you want to do a long-term investment, because the market would go up and down, but you have more time horizon, longer time horizon to rise through the volatility of the market. So by nature, a person can afford to take slightly higher risk and aim for a better return. However, if this person just want the money out, let's say I'm now, I've met someone that I really love and I'm single, but I want to get married in about 2.5 years' time. Within 2.5 years' time, you're going to spend a lot of money to buy a property for renovation. So your investment horizon is actually, for that portion of money, is quite short. So in this case, there are two things we can do. Because of short horizon, right, we have to aim for lower risk. Lower risk actually means lower return. Okay? Or if we still want to aim for very high, slightly higher return, when we take more risk, then it requires very skillful hands to monitor, to manage the money. So, so this is where the key difference between long-term and short-term investments.
Yeah, I think that's the essence of it, is that if your time horizon is too short, you know that in the long run, if you will definitely be able to achieve a certain return. But if the time horizon is short, we cannot control events in the market. What if a war between two countries or the trade agreement dissolved between two countries, and that will affect, now the tariff in US is affecting global trade, and this is where when you need the money in 3 years' time, you cannot say that you are there. Are you prepared if it is down by 30%? We can manage, but you can, the thing is that no matter how good you manage, there are events in the market you can't predict.
Control.
Are you happy to hold on for another 3 years?
If you're buying a house to get married,
Yeah.
probably you cannot wait.
Yeah. And what will happen?